So I decided to do something different this time. I hand painted these textures. As you can see, there's no detail on the model when I turn off the painting. Let me tell you, it's hard work. Regardless, you can probably tell how much fun I had working on this, and I'm really excited to share the whole process with you. So let's begin. First, I came up with this simple idea, then sketched some thumbnails based on the idea and research. I liked this one the most and further developed it. Next, I'm gonna block it in 3D, then add some resolution so I can paint the textures directly on it. So I'm adding a plane and turning it into a disc, since the table is round. Masking this part and extracting with some thickness. I'm gonna repeat it one more time and delete the disc. These edges are not straight, so I'm gonna fix it with the move brush. Now I have half of the table. For the other half, I'm gonna clone and rotate these 180 degrees. I'm drawing the profile of the fabric with the tube tool and editing profile of the tube to make it a simple plane with no thickness. Lower the poly count and make it a bit thicker. Adjust its size. Edges should be curved since the table underneath the fabric is also round. Now for the book cover, I'm gonna add a box and extract with thickness like this. Pages should also be a bit curved. Adding a plane, lowering the poly count to 2 and moving the unmasked area up with the gizmo. This will be the cover of the opened diary. After adding some resolution, I'm extracting the masked part with thickness. A simple box for the pages, making it a bit curved with the move brush. Mask and extract for the single page. For the candle, I'm using the lathe tool to draw the profile and inserting supporting edge loops by adding more control points. And using the tube tool for the handle. This is particularly interesting. To make the rolled up paper, first I'm drawing a spiral shape with the tube tool and enabling the profile and making it thinner. Now with the gizmo, I'm making the paper roll longer like this, masking and scaling to make it a bit thinner in the middle. Then just cloning it for this one. Making the bottle and the cork with the lathe tool. Adding simple planes for the map and the photograph. A cylinder for the coin and longer cylinder for the candle. Using the lathe tool for the handle of the magnifying glass, and for the frame I'm using a cylinder with the hole enabled. For the feather, I've added a plane and now shaping it with the move brush. Cylinder for the spine. A squashed sphere for the glass. Using the basic primitives to make the key. And repeater curve for the chain. Drawing the ropes with the tube tool. So in order to paint detailed and clean texture, we need to add more resolution to these models. So I'm gonna do that in the next step. Subdividing to add more resolution and drawing mask to make the pointy edge of the fabric. Then just invert and extract. I'm gonna quickly quad remesh. I'm adding resolution to plank and fixing the rounded corners with the move brush. Repeating the process for the other planks. Now I'm sliding the edge loops near the edges and subdividing. Do the same for these and polish this area a bit with the flatten brush. Subdividing the other models as well in order to add more resolution. Sculpting some bevel with the flatten brush. And then moving on to the candle. Drawing the melted wax shape with the mask tool and inverting it to scale it up and add smoothness. Alright, it's time for the main event. First, I will switch to unlit and add ambient occlusion in the post process. Then bring in a color palette as reference. Then pick color from this and apply to the models one by one like this. This way I can work a lot faster without worrying about what color to choose and focus on painting, because this can be quite cumbersome. Then on a new layer I'm painting with some dark color to indicate the shadow side. Then painting some color and value variations and drawing the grain lines with a thin brush. Finally adding some highlights. I'm mainly working with a thin hard brush and a soft airbrush. So after painting the shadow side on the fabric, I'm adding some highlights and painting the design on a separate layer. I've made a detailed tutorial for the techniques I'm using in this video, and for convenience sake I put them in one playlist, so make sure to check these out. I'll put the link in the description. Bottle is basically cylinder, so for that I'm painting some mid-tone and adding highlights. Then finally gonna add the reflection of the light source on the bottle, which is the brightest. Painting the label with a bright color. Now in Procreate, I'm drawing random shapes for landmass, and with the soft round brush, I'm airbrushing the outside of the selection. Duplicating straight lines to create the grid and drawing the traveled route like this. Drawing the black and white alpha map. Then importing the map to color and alpha to opacity. This is important, so make sure you rewatch if you missed it. Writing gibberish for the diary and importing that as texture as well, like the map. Painting the book cover the same way. And now the gold coin. I had so much fun doing this. First, I'm drawing the details and the highlight and mid-tone on the separate layers. Now I'm quickly sketching the portrait of a man for the photograph. I'm using Procreate, but you can use Infinite Painter as well, which is a very good app. Importing a seamless map for the rope. Watch this to learn the technique. We are almost done. Import this alpha and set the material to additive and enable bloom in the post process for the glow. Please subscribe and leave a comment if you enjoyed the tutorial and wanna see more. I will see you in the next video.